everybody, it's Carrie with Seed to Spoon. So one of the most common things we get asked about is how to just get started gardening. So it can seem so overwhelming at first, but I promise you it's not. It can be so easy to get started. So whenever we first started, we had no idea what we were doing. So we've learned a lot along the way. Whenever we first started, we didn't live out here in the country back then. We lived in the middle of the city. So we had just a regular sized backyard. And then slowly but surely we converted our yard from just a regular grass yard over to completely filled with food gardens. So I want to talk to you today just a little bit about step by step how we did that and how you can do it too, and how you can get started growing food for yourself and your family, and it's not that hard. So the first step, which was actually the hardest for us, was getting rid of all of the Bermuda grass that we had. So, Bermuda can be so invasive. So we had a problem with getting rid of it, but what we ended up doing that finally worked was covering it with cardboard and then layering wood chips on top of that. So I know you're thinking wood chips, that can be pricey, but really we did it really cost effectively. So we made a lot of trips to our county compost facility where they gave us free wood chips for our, just right into our truck bed. So we went back and forth with a lot of different trips with and unloading with all of these wood chips in the back of our truck. So yeah, it was not easy, but we went back and forth, did it a lot, but it was all free. And then something else you can do, there's also a service online. It's called chipdrop.com. So we've had really good experiences and also not so good. So sometimes we've signed up and we've gotten deliveries, boom, right away in a huge truckload. But other times it's taken like a year, maybe more. So really just depends on what's going on in your area too. Chip Drop is completely free, but there is an option to include money to help, incentivize them to bring you wood chips to your area. So that can help sometimes if you are desperate and you really want to get wood chips really fast. If you include an incentive right there, it'll help. So once you get all of that done, you can move on to step 2. So step 2 is where we did a raised bed, or you can start planting in smart pots or other type of pots. So what we did when we first started, we built these wooden raised beds. So we typically stuck with 4x4 because, just to be honest, it's hard to reach over whenever you have something bigger or longer or wider. So you want to keep it small enough so you can still reach on all sides just to get in there and harvest and weed and all of that. So 4x4 is a good size. We painted the outside and then we lined the inside with black plastic. We were trying to make sure that it would last as long as possible. It did last for several years, but not optimal. It didn't continue lasting after that. If you did wood, maybe like cedar, it might last you a little bit longer than these did, but that's definitely an option to do. Another option to build these from are pallets, and a lot of places people can get these for free. So just make sure that they have an HT on them, which means they are heat treated and they don't have any chemicals in them. So we also do a lot of planting in smart pots, which are fabric raised beds. And I know it does not sound like they would hold up. We were super leery of them. We didn't think that they would last longer than our wooden raised beds, but they actually did, and they're actually still holding on while most of our wood raised beds have completely fallen apart. So, but these smart pots are amazing. We are really strong believers of them. The roots, so in regular pots, plants tend to get root bound and just wrap around, but in smart pots, they actually don't. They just completely grow out to the outside, and the air on the outside really helps Oop, I'm getting bugs landing on me. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the smart pots are so good. We're really big believers of them. I mean, we sell them in our online store too, because we use them all the time in our garden. So check those out, seedtospoon.net/smartpots. So the third step is to fill your raised bed of choice in with some soil. So we choose to make all of our own soil. We do the Mel's mix, which is a square foot gardening mix. So it's a mixture of 3 different things. So it's either perlite or vermiculite, and then coconut coir and peat moss, and then the rest with compost. So you can either combine all 3 of those together and add those into your raised beds, or you can feel free, if you're doing it on a much smaller scale than us, you can feel free to go get, a bag of soil from your local nursery, and there's nothing wrong with that, just not quite as cost effective if you are growing in a larger scale. So I would recommend making your own soil if you are, doing more of a large scale like us, or if you have several raised beds that you're going to be filling. The next step, step 4, the most fun step. This is where you get to plant whatever you want. So a lot of people get stuck on this step because they're like, well, now that I have it all set up, what do I plant? I actually just made a video about this earlier, so check it out, what I recommend for beginner gardeners. But I mean, there's so many things you can plant whatever you want. In our app, it actually has recommendations for different smart pot sizes and pot sizes, so that way you know exactly what you can plant in different smart pots. And also check out the app too, because if you don't know what to grow and you have a certain health condition, check it out, because there are certain plants that are really good to help for different things like heart health, pregnancy, if you're on the keto diet. I mean, certain things like that. Like, you can filter down in the app by why you're growing or why you want to grow and what you're going to be eating. And it'll help you decide what to start growing. I hope this video has been helpful on talking about how to get started growing your own food, and I hope you will get started. It's so much fun once you get going, and it's really fun to be successful and to go out into your own backyard or front yard and grab your own food. And we always joke how we're going to go grocery shopping and go in our yard and go pick spinach and beans and things like that. So it's so much fun. I highly recommend doing it. And if you haven't already, check out our free app, From Seed to Spoon. It will help walk you through over 100 different fruits, vegetables, herbs, and it'll talk all about getting started with those plants and when to plant, how to plant, different pests, companion planting. I mean, you name it, it's on there. So it will help you out. So I really hope you get started gardening, and good luck. Thanks so much for watching.